Now it's getting into just about the first part of February, and what that means is shed season is soon upon us. Now, antlers start dropping depending on the stress, the amount of food that they have, the quality of food that they have, the quality of cover they have, the severity of the winter. There's a lot that plays into it, the amount of light left in the sky. There's so many different cues that in features that fall into when antlers have to drop. It's kind of confusing, but I can say that living up in the UP of Michigan, most of the bucks that we had pictures of between Christmas and New Year's dropped their antlers during that time. They either had no antlers or one was gone. Rarely, it was a lot more rare to see a buck with both antlers on at that time of the year than it was to have something missing. It's interesting. Camp Kuzno Deer Research Facility up there in Shingleton, Michigan, huge snowfall area. In fact, they average about 225 inches of snow. Where I was at, averaged about 185, so huge snow levels. And in the north part of the county, northeast, they average 295. So 295 inches literally of snow, big snow area. What was interesting is the local bucks, most of the bucks up there are dropping sometime around the end of December, early January. They're not holding till February. Same deer, same genetics in the Kuzno Research Facility that was a mile by mile enclosure. They had cedars in there that were browsed out, high deer populations at time, but they were all pellet fed deer, meaning they had all the food they wanted every single day. And it was interesting, those deer inside the pen, even though same conditions, same snowfall, 225 inch snowfall zone, same weather, same temperatures, everything, winds, stress, even high deer numbers at time, because they had those pellets, they weren't dropping their sheds till the end of February, March, like a lot of southern areas with southern ag, where deer are well fed, even if it's just adequate browse. And it showed the difference just from one side of the fence to the other, how much supplementally fed and deer with good food or even adequate food during the wintertime, how it affected shed timing. And if you think about it, if they had food, they didn't have to move very far. They were in an enclosure, pretty high stresses sometimes because they had over 100 deer in there at times. They actually shrunk it to all different numbers of deer in there for study. But again, they held their antlers for a lot longer, months longer than on the outside, and that says a lot about the food. Fast forwarding those shed hunting secrets, shed hunting strategies. You know, one of the most discouraging things about and aspects of shed hunting is that you go out to find these great sheds on your land and there's no sheds. Well, is that really a bad thing? And the reason I say that is because when bucks are dropping, especially when they're dropping in traditional times in February, sometime even March and early April, then where those bucks are dropping a lot of times is not where that buck is during the fall. Now it's cool to find that shed. It's really great to know that that deer is alive, but sometimes what's really great is just knowing that, you know what, if it's pure winter habitat, meaning conifers, maybe even a late season food source, those deer were probably not there in the fall during the hunting season, and the hunting season is when you have the greatest ability to influence a deer herd, positive or negatively. Where those deer drop and where those bucks drop their antlers during the wintertime is not necessarily a great clue as to where they're going to be in the fall, what kind of habitat, what kind of bedding areas they're using in the fall. And I'll give you an example. I've shot a lot of mature bucks in this area, and it's in the, I think, 23 mature bucks since 2002, going back a long time in the southwest Wisconsin area. And on the properties that I've hunted, including a 200-acre parcel or 195, a 30-acre parcel, and now an 8-acre parcel, and then fast forwarding to another location down where it's 45 acres, I found a handful of sheds. I have not found 5 sheds, and we've even sent the kids out, boys looking for sheds and their friends. They just don't find them. Those bucks are there during the fall, they're not there during the summer, and they're not there during the midwinter and later, and certainly in the spring. That's not a bad thing, because I can attract those bucks in the fall. I can protect them, hold them, advance them to the next age class if they're younger bucks. I have that ability to do that even with a small parcel. And then I get a chance to hunt them. I get a chance to raise or lower the deer population as needed for does. And then I send those deer off. They're looking for winter habitat. A lot of times it's lower around here. It might be by a spring, might be by standing ag fields. And those deer are looking for those areas where they can get out of the wind, they can seek shelter during the winter. They're dropping their sheds. a lot of times in areas where they're not at during the fall. So think about that as you're going out shed hunting. Shed hunting's a great activity. I love shed hunting. I do my shed hunting on client properties. I'm looking at 30, 40 client properties during the shed hunting season. I found sheds on up to 7 properties in 7 different states, multiple properties, up to 30 sheds a season. So I find sheds, I find them on client properties. I'm not looking for them on my own property because I'm only concerned about where they're at during the fall. I use trail cameras to tell me if they're still alive, especially towards the end of the season. I use summer scouting to tell me that they're still alive within a mile of my property in all directions. When it comes to shed hunting, great activity to get the kids out, get your spouse out, have a family time out in the woods. I know one of the biggest shed hounds I know, Brendan Nading, he finds all kinds of sheds every year. I think he puts on 40, 50 miles in one weekend looking for sheds. He's a great buck hunter. He has a history of shooting really nice mature bucks. He shot a couple more, at least 2 more. Dylan, 2 more, 3 more this year? I don't even know how many, but 4 or 5. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of Brennan. So he does put a lot of strategy into his shed hunting, and it's not to say that the shed hunting isn't helping him. He does a fantastic job finding sheds and finding big bucks. But most of the time, especially when we're dealing with small properties where we can't spread out and you have a lot of hunting pressure, you're not allowed to shed hunt on other people's properties. Don't think that it's a bad thing if you're not finding sheds this year. Think of some of those reasons why those sheds might not be there. You really want to have the greatest fall parcel that you can, the greatest fall food. I find that a lot of bucks during the winter are going back to their spring and summer grounds, and that might be typically a mile away during ag area. And if you're not finding those sheds, it might be a great thing. It might be a really good indication that your habitat work and your herd management work, your hunting management work is really taking shape, and that you're producing not only a great herd, but an outstanding hunt every fall. And think about some of those shed hunting clues and how they relate, and it might be more the opposite of what you think. And don't be too discouraged if you're not finding any sheds this off season.